let's get started. Thank you for joining our webinar. And today we'll talk about how to manage portfolios of Microsoft Azure projects. One of the challenges that we see with modern organizations is that there are multiple tools in user organization. Different departments might use different solutions, and at the same time, different departments and different teams use even Azure DevOps are used in multiple ways. Modern approach is that you have projects. Your project can be small or it can be large. For large projects, we see that a lot of work is organized in epics, and in most cases, it's sometimes organized like the project in Azure DevOps is like a container for a program, and each epic is a project. So we see multiple scenarios of using solution, but no matter how organization is using Azure DevOps, no matter how the projects are set up, business needs to see all that work in one place. They want to be able to see stats, so they want to be able to have budget, more visibility, descriptions, lots of the functionality to make sure that organization is executing. Execution is aligned with goals, with strategic directions that exist in the company, and that management can make corrective actions or make decision based on that information at any time without waiting, without searching, and without requesting all that information. This as well, what we see in majority of organization is that very often it's not just some companies use just Azure DevOps. Azure DevOps might be a platform for your for IT department or for IT group in an organization, and other groups might use Planner, might use Jira, might use Project Online, might use additional solutions. And reality is that right now the project management is hybrid. You even there are scenarios where you can have part of your project managed in, let's say, waterfall system, and all the IT and maybe development tasks are managed in Azure DevOps. So what that wide variety of the tools and approaches, it leads to several problems, I would say. Is that first of all, management has an organization has limited visibility into the work. There are so many projects, there are so many systems, and organizations have very limited control over and visibility into those projects. Very often, because of the different nature of projects, there is no common process, there is no common framework and foundation, and every team might run the project differently. It is okay because that's the choice of the team and that work for the team. But for management to make some decisions, they need some common or standard information that the organization needs to track for projects. Different system and disconnected system lead to challenges into reporting. You might use dashboard in Azure DevOps. You might use Power BI for Project Online, and you might use Excel for something else. And again, like it leads to no big picture. No big picture. And again, like disconnect system, as I mentioned, executives will have to ask for information because systems are not connected. There is no one place to get all that information, all those details together. How organizations solve this problem is there are several ways, and with Azure DevOps, just if we overview Azure DevOps, is that there's definitely a strong focus on the projects and on tracking information at the project level or program level if it's a project with multiple epics. Same time, with multiple projects, Azure DevOps is not providing any standard functionality to see information across projects. You need to have additional add-ons to see that information, or you need to build custom reports that will extract information. Then you can see that. Same time, it's as well provide some management can make a decision based on reporting, but it's at the same time it's missing some functionality. So some solution becomes uh, like a Lego set where you need to plug different modules to do that. And again, that's since Azure DevOps is focused on a project and it supports to some extent supports scaled agile scale framework, but still it's still a limited support for enterprise PMO requirements and what that group needs from teams. And last time, but last point is that with the program management in Azure DevOps, you can have very complex projects, programs, but one of the things is missing is that every project needs some statusing. And when you have project with tens of epics, multiple teams working on the project, it's hard to get a very nice visual picture of the entire portfolio or entire program progress. How companies solve this problem is that companies integrate solutions, and one of the choices on the Microsoft platform is Project Online, and companies have connectors where they can flow information from Azure DevOps, from Microsoft Planner, from other solutions into Microsoft Project Online. The challenge is that it is an integration. It's a usually it's customizable solution. It has it's a complex solution because there might be some different rules at different floor, and as well it's limited. Each platform has its own limitations, and it's different. In nature, they're different. Microsoft Project Online is waterfall solution. It's designed for waterfall solution. Azure DevOps, it's agile. It's agile platform. If you're talking about the integration, yes, you get the benefits. You can see, you get the portfolio visibility. You will see your projects. But again, like it's a different nature. Integration is usually customizable. It's high cost. It requires some time to implement. There's limited flexibility because of the different nature of those platform, and it requires monitoring, maintenance, and in fact, it's a bad fit for agile. And the project is becoming quite complex in nature to manage it. Another approach that we have in PPM Express, and we suggest that approach, is that instead of integrating a system, we use connection, or we aggregate information. PPM Express is a standalone application, and you don't need to switch to any other tools. It's an additional tool that your management team, your EPMO, PMO, executives, and project managers can use. And instead of integrating the information, we bring that information to PPM Express and connecting the projects. And in PPM Express, we have we support different models for connectivity. You can connect to entire project in DevOps. You can connect to a specific epic in DevOps. You can connect to area path. So we support all the different models, how companies manage their project, how they set up projects in Azure DevOps, and we support all that level, all that connectivity. We as well build EPM Pulse as a lightweight application. It's a modern UI. It's using Microsoft Fabric UI. It's lightweight. It's designed for decision makers, designed for PMO to show them the most important information. And it's an instant start. It doesn't require any development, any customization, any configuration. It's just very quick start that you can connect your projects. You can connect projects and start seeing them in one place. As I mentioned, it's a modern app. It meets the requirement from the top management for visibility, for ability to make decisions. It's natively integrated with Office 365. It's using the Power BI for the platform. It's using the Office 365 groups for collaboration, and you can provision groups for teamwork. And it's not connecting just to Office. It's not connecting just to Azure DevOps. You can bring data from project online, from Planner, from Jira, and we'll be expanding the number of connectors that you can use. So it's absolutely possible to visualize, and that's one of the requirements from business. It's they want one place to see all the work managed in the system, and Azure DevOps can be just one piece of the puzzle. If we talk about the features before we go to demo, we provide some standard features like status management, reporting based on Power BI, budget management, key dates, milestones, both for projects and for portfolios, project reviews, portfolio management, risk and issue management. So we bring all those enterprise portfolio management and project management features into the solution that you can, that management can still needs that information to make a business decision. Teams still work in Azure DevOps. Nothing is impacted, but by those components. But management still needs that information to be able to see and to make the right decision based on the right data. Connectors that we have right now is that you can see them on the screen. Again, like it's Azure DevOps can be just part of the landscape. It can be one of the many solutions that are in place in organization, and PPM Express allows to bring all that information into system, into one place, and see that information in one location and trust that information. So let's go to demo, and we'll see how it works. Okay, so the PPM Express, it's a web app, and it's available by going to the app.ppm.express. You can sign up for it very easily using your Office 365 account or Gmail account, and start connecting your project. We have two main objects. So first object is called portfolio, which is pretty much a container for projects, and second is a project itself, which is can be connected to external systems like Microsoft Project Online or Azure DevOps. What and portfolio is just a container, and if I go here, for example, if I see that portfolio, I see that there are 3 projects at risk, there are 3 projects on track, and if I want to see all the projects, I can just click here, and I will see list of my projects here. I have my project which are at risk, which are on track. For portfolio management, each portfolio has, if I click on the portfolio card, I have information about the portfolio, statuses for portfolio, and again, like I see my project with milestones and with some key dates information on the timeline. If I want to see it, I can move mouse and see information, or I can drill down to a project details and get inside. For every project, we support each of we call them sections. So you have some summary information, you have details where you can have descriptions and manage and create some custom fields and custom attributes here. You have key dates where you can enter the releases, milestones, and key dates for the project. So you can enter that information, manage it, and even create a custom columns here. And as well, for portfolio level, what you can do is you can also manage budgets, and we have a control that allows companies to enter budgets for portfolios and track their capex, opex costs, forecast them, and track the actual afterwards during the project execution. Again, like we see, it's a container with some attributes and with status management, and in most cases, that's exactly what the executive needs. I can say, okay, that's my group of projects. It can be by department, or it can be by program, it can be by product for some companies if there are multiple product lines, and it's a nice container to simplify view and have all that information together. There are multiple views that we provide for portfolio management. Is definitely like you have a tile view here. For some executives, they might say, okay, I want to see cost information, so that will that will load. If there is a cost information defined on the budgets on the portfolio, you can see that information. Second view is that you can have them in list view, and simply just like if you have multiple portfolios, it's very comfortable, very convenient view, where you can see the person complete, you can see projects, and immediately you point why we highlight that information that marketing. I have two projects that are critical. I can click here and see that information in application. Immediately I can see that I have two critical projects. I see them here, and I can drill down and do my research and find why is it critical and what can be done. If I go back here, another timeline view we have is timeline view, where I can see my portfolios, this overall status, and the timelines where we are right now. What is the release dates for or releases for my for entire portfolio, and see that in a visual format. Anywhere from pretty much every page, you have access to Power BI reports. So you can access those reports, and you can say, okay, I would like to see enterprise portfolio timeline. That will open the Power BI report, and that will render. We have two options. We have embedded Power BI reports, which are updated 3 times a day. For customers who require more frequent updates, we have an option to use your own Power BI, where we provide your report pack, and in that time you can have up to 8 sync, and you can do on-demand sync for your data synchronization for that, so it provides more realistic and more up-to-date information. In our Power Pack, we have about 50 reports for different aspects, for portfolio, for portfolio details, for group of project, for single project, for resources. So there are more than 50 reports available for usage that can be used as part of solution. If you go to our projects, that's where we start. Seeing like some more details. For example, I can say, show me all the active projects. Immediately, I see all my active projects. I can see them as let's say as a grid. I can see stage. I can see to which project, to which systems they are linked. For example, in this case, I have project linked to Microsoft Project Online, to Azure DevOps. And at any point of time, I can create new project. But let's take a look on one of the projects that we have. Let's say this project is connected to Azure DevOps. Another option I can do, I can create a view, that filter that will show just only Azure DevOps projects. Immediately and instantly, I get those projects. I click here on my project, and I see immediate timeline. I see some milestones and key dates. I have statuses for my project where each year you can update. And we are releasing very soon. We are releasing the mapping functionality for our connector, where you will be able, if you create, for example, if you map project to Epic, and you have some fields on, you customized your process and you create additional attributes for your work items, you can bring that information into PPM Express by default until part solution. You can map that to the fields, and you can visualize it. And later you can use it in reports. Second section that we have after statuses, we have the key dates. It can be your milestones. It can be your release dates. It can be some just key dates, and it's very easy to edit. So we have type, we have date. It's complete or not. Do you want to see it on the timeline or not in description? Very simple, but still it's important. And our system supports that. It sees that if it's missed, if it's not completed, it will highlight that it's late. It's showing that in this case it is a milestone, but it is colored in red because the data has passed, and then it's not complete. So we're embedding the notification. We're helping users to see areas where they need to pay some attention, where there's some discrepancies or areas that need their immediate attention. For this test project, for Azure DevOps project, we bring all the iterations, and you can see information how many user stories are per iterations, planned features, so you can see all that information. What is the start date? What is the finish date? And if you want to go to the iteration, you can absolutely click on that icon, and that will open the board for that sprint, where you can see what is a part of that iteration, and see all that information together in this test. And again, like it's all in one click. If management needs to go to the iteration, they don't have to search. They don't have to go to Azure DevOps, pick a project, go to board, select sprint, apply multiple steps. It's instantly available just in one click of the mouse. Same goes for details. You can have your details. You can bring descriptions. You can create custom fields. You have priority and scoring system. We will be bringing some portfolio prioritization, project prioritization, selection features soon. For other sections that we have section called team, where you see all your sources and how many work items assigned to them, tasks and bugs, and in which state they are. So you can see that. We also have a schedule component where you can see the information for current iteration. Again, like it's all based on the state of the work item. If you have multiple states, you will see all your states here. If you have 10, we have seen Azure DevOps environment. Some of our customers, they use more than 15 states ready for UAT, ready for testing, ready for QA. It's in QA, so triage. It's all possible statuses that will be visible here, and we bring all that information from Azure DevOps, as well as all the custom and you issue type. If you decided to create your new issue types, absolutely you can do that. Same time, what you can do is you can see that information by specific iteration. For example, I can go to previous iteration and see details for that iteration. So okay, we still have some information. Some are not, only some elements were closed. There are some new ready result. Again, like you can see all that information, or you can see that information for entire project. Just picking the entire project, you will see that all the view and all, like, big picture of progress of your project. We have components for risk management, schedule, and issue management. Very standard approach, where you can create risks, you can define categories, you can track your risk and impact of the risk, and cost of the impact of your risk to the project, as well as track some issues. And it's mostly a management needs those risk analysis and issues this project, so the corrective actions can be taken. As part of the system, if some customers say, okay, it's too much information, we don't, for example, we don't track risk and issues, and we don't manage risk and issues, we provide all the functionality that you can configure those sections. You can say, okay, I don't want to see the risk and issue, but we want to track budget. Or for example, I like the schedule view, but I don't want to see the team view. And exactly, you can do that, and so those sections can be turned on or turned off very easily. And again, like, same budget control like for portfolio, you can create a budget for your epic or for your project in Azure DevOps, and have that information here. When connecting to Azure DevOps, we have several options. So if I click here, that's a connectivity feature. We have a connection to Azure DevOps, and we have options to select a project. If I will delete the project link right now, and I will go again to connectivity here. If I pick Azure DevOps, I can select a project. Let's say that we have the helmet, but we also have additional filters here. So as I mentioned, you can go, if your project is set up that it's a container for multiple epics, you can pick an epic. You can say, I want this project to map to specific epic. You don't have to map it to large project, because we've seen projects with hundreds of thousands work items, and Epic can be itself container for thousands of work items, hundreds of user story. That depends on the size of the project, and we provide the functionality. So you can map to Epic, you can, or to area, or to iteration, or you can do a combination of all those elements. So it's all possible, depending on how complex your project is, that you have that ability to configure what comes to a system. In reports, our system is using state categories for defining what is not started, what is in progress, uh, what is completed. So we rely on the process definition in Azure DevOps, and that will drive how the information visible in reporting. Again, like if you go back to our portfolio, to our project view, where I have information, again, I can see exactly all that information here. For example, I can pick, let me show my planner project. I said I would like to see the end of the timeline immediately. I can see here. I want to see my project in Azure DevOps, and I can see them in the timeline. Absolutely, I can see it. I can see it here. And as you can see, before we had 3 projects. Right now it's 2 projects, since we disconnected one project from Azure DevOps, and it's not showing that it's connected. I can see, show me all the OnTrack projects, or which is probably not really what I want. Probably as a manager, I want to see, okay, what is my critical project, and what do I need to do about my critical project? Why is it late? I can click here. I can see description of the status. I can see the timeline. I can see what is missing. Definitely, look, I have multiple milestones, and they're running late. They're red status, and definitely we are missing on some deliverable. So at PPM Express, we're trying to get that information from all the system, show areas where managers need to pay attention, so they can make the corrective action, or change the strategy, or adjust this set of projects to change in strategy of organization. So those changes can be done very easily. In terms of setting up the system for when you have multiple large organization, we have import of projects. So we support the bulk importing of project from Azure DevOps, from all the connectors. So you don't have to link it one to one. You can do the bulk operations. Let's say that you have 50 projects. It's not effective to go and bring each project individually. You can do that in bulk operations. If we go back to our reporting solution, yeah, let me show a couple more items on reports. If you go to reports, for every section, we have a section with reports. So very quickly, you can go and open that report just from here, just by clicking on that on that report. It will open Power BI. It will run that report. It will get that specific project, and you will be able to see that report just right here, and just for that selected project. So it's very natively integrated with Power BI. But again, like for customers who are in production state, we strongly recommend to use external Power BI, because it gives more flexibility. You can use export, you can open it in a system, you can in Power BI desktop, you can share it, you can collaborate. So it's all the standard features that are available by default in the system. If you go to reports, very quick overview of reports. We have portfolio level reports, where you see information about the portfolio. For example, I can click here and see stats of my projects immediately as enterprise view. Let's say, okay, I have multiple portfolios here, and I have projects and portfolios with their statuses. I just give it, let's let look. If I want to see specific portfolio, I can click on portfolio, and it will immediately filter that information here. I see portfolio risk, I see project risk, I see progress, I see dates, I see stage on which stage the project is, and I can apply. I can filter out here, or I can use a portfolio. I can see summary by stats. So multiple reports. I can switch from portfolio stats report. I can switch to, for example, to key dates. That's our uh, releases or milestones, or just key dates for portfolio. And you'll be able to see all that information here in list view, in timeline view, and several charts. Let's wait for data to load. Okay, so for example, I can do it for last 1 month. Okay, see, okay, do I have any milestones for portfolio? That's all goals for portfolio. No milestone, but for example, if I go for releases, uh, there should be some release information. Okay, I have the portfolio here, and I can see the details for that when I have information. If I want to see this on the timelines, uh, all dates have my my uh, release dates or key milestones dates. I have a date. I can see them on the timeline view as well. Second set of reports is a cross single portfolio reports, where you can see information about the single portfolio, filter out just to one. Then you can do the same for group of projects or for single project. The difference is just it's a multi-select. And you can see resource utilization. You can see uh, where your resources are working on, where they have assignments, if there are any issues. You can see information by project, by portfolios, or multiple views. What we do is, as you know, in Microsoft, in Azure DevOps, there are no some organizations that they don't use hours, and there's no way to understand how long the task taken if companies are using user stories. So you show just the number of tasks. If there are task assigned, which task assigned, how many tasks assigned to the user. So you will be able to see that information over time, how it's done. So you can filter it by single projects. For example, I can pick here one project and see information just for that single project. What are their assignments? What are the task timeline? Who has assignments, and when is the start date and finish date for those tasks? So you will be able to see all that information, and all the tasks that are part of the project. You'll be able to see it here, as well as summary information. Uh, Again, our idea is aggregating the information from this test and providing one-click links back to a system, so you can, if you need to research information, if you need to use functionality from Azure DevOps to find more details about product, you can, at any point of the time, you can go there and get all those details. Okay, let's go back to our presentation very quickly. And our roadmap that we are working, we get the feedback from customers that they want to have more automation and more notification about the data quality. I'll say that I have my timelines and my some milestones are late, but my project shows that it's in the green state. It's definitely something wrong, and we'll work on the notifications and the warnings about discrepancies in statuses and the data. We'll be improving some timeline UI, because that's one of the things that we also believe it's visual, and we'll have more features added there, as well as one-to-many, because reality in many organizations is that part of the project is managed in waterfall, part of the project is managed in agile, and that's a reality for large program, large systems, and large organization. And we'll have that ability to use multiple connectors in this one project, so you can have it as one view for management, no matter where the work is managed. We will support team that right now. You can integrate PPM Express into the teams as via the URL. But we'll release some native apps for Teams, so you can integrate them on the sheet sets as application. So that's in the work, and as well as strategic teams prioritization aligned with the scaled agile framework. So that's coming as well as the small connectors. Definitely we are working on connectors for ServiceNow, for Raleigh, for Dynamics 365. So more and more features, for more connectors to our system will be added to a system that, again, you can see all that information in one place. Pricing wise, we have a free edition for small teams. If you have less than up to 4 people, it's free. Starting from 5 users, you can upgrade to professional edition, and that system is linked to Planner, Azure DevOps, Jira, and file-based integration. If you need to use any PPM capabilities like Project Online or Dynamics 365, and later like systems like a ServiceNow, that goes to $35 per user per month, and goes down with number of users for every tier. So if you have 20 people or 50 people using a system, price goes down significantly. As more users you have, the lower the price. This pricing is, as it is right now, it's a subject to change. It's published on our website, so if you at some point you decide to buy it, you please always check our website for details. That concludes my demonstration. And if you have any question, please feel free to ask them in chat. We have some time to report. So there's a question: which KPI we using to calculate the health for Azure DevOps? Right now, the status management is manual, but we are implementing the system of warnings. So we'll know that some task are late, some iteration might have not completed work, and in terms of agile, it's totally fine. Right now, we have project manager will have to go and say, okay, my schedule status is green, my overall status is green, or my schedule, my budget is at risk or critical. So it's right now it is subjective. This system of notifications and warnings, we will have a quality check on that subjective opinion, I would say. That you will be able to, system will find the inconsistencies and will provide, will, will, will say that something is wrong. You need to check if the data is correct, if you can trust that status. We are not redefining how you use it, how you we still, the project manager play important role. Scrum masters or project managers, it's you can call it anyway, but the system will have some system of checks for input provided by project managers. Okay, there is one more question about if the system connects to Microsoft Project Online and have a mix of DevOps and Project Online. Right now, we support one connector to a project, but next release we expect by end of June, because that's a feature that was requested by multiple of our customers. You will be able to connect one project to multiple systems that you can combine information. That's a typical scenario. Part of the project, let's say the high level features and business related information requires and everything is mentioned Microsoft Project Online, and development activities, 100% development is mentioned in the Azure DevOps. How do I get the one? It's a one project. Why should I have two projects? That's why we bring that information. You will be able to merge or combine information from multiple systems into one project in PPM Express. So you will be able to see that as one system and manage it as one system. Okay. Okay. There are a couple questions. So about the resources, if its system is used in multiple systems, we use if you use Office 365. and use the same AD for accessing Project Office 365 and accessing Azure DevOps, your resource will be automatically matched. So there will be no duplicates, and everything will be joined. Another question is another question is about again about integration Azure and Project Online. Is there any information duplicating? No, it's not duplicating. We bring information from two systems and show them together. There's no duplication, so it's not an integration. It's an aggregation of information. So you need to manage your work in Azure DevOps that needs to be managed in Azure DevOps in Project Online, ones that you want to manage in Azure in Project Online, and that will be available. Okay, there are no more questions. So thank you for your time, and this webinar will be available in recording. We will send email with link to recording, and you can watch it anytime and share with your peers in your organization. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us or start a trial. Again, like you can start it for free without any limitations. You have full access to all the features. You can switch to higher plans only when you need to. It's free to use, and you can start it at any point all the time. Thank you and have a great day.